This is more than just a big neutral site game in Chicago. For Jack Coan, this is personal. Jack Coan, the former quarterback at Wisconsin, leads them to a Big Ten championship game before they lose to Ohio State in 2019. In 2020, Paul Christ in Wisconsin says Graham Mertz is the future. Jack Coan says sayonara, I'm going to Notre Dame. Jack Coan has proceeded to, I think, impress a lot of people, myself included, in just how effective he can be in throwing the ball and pushing the ball down the field and how he can carry an offense on his shoulders. You go back to the season opener against Penn State, a Penn State team that we now know is a pretty darn good team, ranked top 10 in the country, number 6 in the latest AP poll. That Nittany Lion team only rushed for 50 yards against this Wisconsin defense. There's a lot of questions out there. Despite what Jack Coan has been able to do offensively, and he's been able to throw the ball well, the question still remains, can Jack Coan still be good if his running game can't produce behind him? Notre Dame proved it against Purdue, they proved it at Toledo, Florida State, they proved it in all those games. Their offensive line, especially the outer edges of their offensive line, is not very good. A lot of these Notre Dame offensive linemen in these past few years have gone to the NFL, and now there's not a lot of guys left. The Wisconsin pass rush is probably going to have a heyday against this Notre Dame offensive line. Jack Coan is probably going to be running around a lot. Running game, I don't think they're going to get a ton going against the Badgers. This is not a Notre Dame offense that's going to put up 30 points or more against Wisconsin. I just don't foresee it happening. I believe Chez Mellusi is primed for a big-time breakout game in this national stage against Notre Dame. That Notre Dame rush defense is not very good. They gave up 264 yards to Florida State. Yeah, a Florida State team that has gone way down. Brian Koback of Toledo, 114 yards rush against Notre Dame. This front seven has given up a lot of yards on the ground. We know what Wisconsin does. They've been doing the same thing since Barry Alvarez, former defensive coordinator at Notre Dame, came over to Wisconsin in 1990, I believe it was. They run the football. They've got a great offensive line. That's what they've been doing for the better part of 25, 30 years. Here's where Notre Dame can wreak some havoc. Turnovers. 3 interceptions against Florida State, 2 interceptions against Purdue. Graham Mertz proved to us, and he proved to the world in that Penn State game, that he's turnover prone. Wisconsin turned the football over 3 times in that Penn State game. He was involved in all of them. A fumble and 2 interceptions. Kyle Hamilton in that secondary for Notre Dame could cause some nightmares in the passing game. Jack Coan's going to be motivated. He is going to be so amped up for this game, looking to prove that Wisconsin made the wrong decision by going with the kid in Graham Mertz instead of sticking around with Jack Coan. Is Wisconsin even regretting the decision right now? Mertz has not looked good, cost them the game against Penn State that they maybe should have won if it weren't for his mistakes. Jim Leonhard is one of the best defensive coordinators in college football. You know he's going to mix things up because he knows there's a guy on the other sidelines, a quarterback, that has seen him every single day in practice for those years that he was in Madison, Wisconsin. This is so close. This is a coin flip, in my opinion. There's so many factors that could go on. Well, it seems like Wisconsin's going to be able to halt the Notre Dame running game. Chez Mellusi seems like he's going to have a good day, but Graham Mertz could turn the football over, right? He made stupid mistakes against Penn State down in the red zone. And then Notre Dame's offense is humming, right? When Jack Coan can put it in the air and be effective with Michael Mayer and other targets downfield, this is a toss-up. And that's what makes me more intrigued. And then you add in the storyline of Jack Coan versus Graham Mertz transferring and all that stuff. It's going to be an awesome matchup at Soldier Field. What do you guys think? Who wins this one? Badgers or Irish? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe for daily Big Ten content. I'm Big Ten Ted. We'll see you in the next one.